mission, should you choose to accept it.
It's a quest. It's a quest for fun.
Well, The Rock says, why don't we just cut right to the chase?
Okay, now he wants to get together. Well, he wants to talk.
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me.
It's showtime, folks!
What are you?
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to And I Quote, the weekly show where we introduce you to content creators of all shapes and sizes, joining us from any and all corners of the nerd universe, and we take your questions. I am your host, Ryan of Nerd Culture, and our guest this week is a very good friend of this program, a very good friend of the channel. She was one of our first people to jump on here and participate in our crazy, wild activities and videos that we've had here for you on this channel and other stuff as well. Please welcome the program director extraordinaire of HWWS Web TV. Please welcome Willow, I love X-Men to death, Skylor. Willow, welcome to the program, even though you're dressed up in a Wonder Woman outfit. For those of you who may be listening to this episode, how are you?
Good. I figured I'd wear my Wonder Woman because that seems like a very fitting title for me right now.
Sounds about right. Diana, Princess of Themyscira, Princess of the Amazons, all that jazz, which we may talk about later. And by the way, if you have any questions for Willow Skylor as we go throughout the course of this program, let us know in the live chat. Let us know in the comments. Our producer's going to be keeping an eye on it as we go throughout the course of the show. But first things first, Willow, what would you say were some of your favorite movies or TV series while you were growing up in Canada?
Well, definitely X-Men. I love the 90s TV show. That was just that will always stay in my head forever. Beast being one of my favorite characters, and Rogue. And then of course the Batman animated series. Sorry, my cat.
Let the cat go. Let the cat go.
I got into so many different cartoons growing up. Max Steel was another big one for me. I absolutely loved Reboot. So
yeah, Hollywood's doing
Teenage
a lot of that
Mutant
right
Ninja
now.
Turtles.
They're rebooting and remaking a lot of things. Oh, I'm sorry. You're talking about Reboot? That was an actual title of a series? My bad.
That was an actual cartoon. Anime when they started going into the whole computer animation thing.
Yes.
Reboot and Beast Wars were the two big ones.
Yes, Beast Wars. Yeah. Remember that theme song like it were yesteryear? Remember that catchy theme? Beast War, you know what I'm saying? Sorry, we could just go with a sing-along for the entire hour of this program. I'm not sure if our listener, if not our audience member, is willing to hear my terrible, not good karaoke voice. But so yeah, you were saying Beast Wars. Anything else stand out to you?
That pretty much was it. I mean, Saturday mornings was my day to just sit in front of the TV and veg all day.
And I'm sure the prophet of pop culture, John B. Pica, would agree with that. Et cetera, et cetera.
I remember recording lots of cartoons on VHS, and just whatever I couldn't watch during the day while out of school, I would set the VCR to record, and then I'd have like hours of stuff to watch while doing my homework. Sometimes I didn't do my homework, but
plenty of things there, no question about it. Now, what would you say are some of your favorite comic books growing up?
Well, I got into X-Men because of the TV show. So going in, always getting the new issues.
Spinner
whenever I was able to get to a comic book store. That was a huge thing. I collected my first comic book that I remember getting from my mom was actually Sheena. So yeah, it was funny because I remember her bringing home a bunch of stuff that she bought from a garage sale. And she kind of threw this book at me, and I'm just like, what is this? And so, yeah, that was like my first introduction to female superheroes.
Ooh, good points. Good points. Yeah. Any favorite comic book writers or artists stand out to you, whether they be, from the past or the present?
George Perez.
Yeah.
I love him dearly.
Big one.
His situation right now is really sad, and it's
Yeah.
and
we wish you well, George, by the way. George Perez is going through a lot of health complications as of this moment, but we wish him and his family well. So stay strong, George. Stay strong.
I met Peter David a while back at KeyCon, and I actually got I pretty much hung out with him all weekend. And it's funny because I have the story arc of X Factor that I wanted to get him to sign so bad, and I actually brought it with me, and I chickened out because I just I didn't want to. I didn't know whether or not I should get him to sign the first issue or the whole series, and yeah, I chickened out. But but the fact that I hung out with him all weekend was. I have some unfinished business now, but
Yeah,
but no, it was fun.
Gotta mark that down. And that kind of segues into our next question. What was your first Comic-Con you ever went to?
That would have been C4, Central Canada Comic-Con, here in Winnipeg. And it was funny because I was walking by the bookstore near my house, and I saw the sign that said Comic-Con, and it's like, wait, we have a Comic-Con? So that was 2009. So I've been going ever since. I'm dipping my toe in pretty much all versions of fandom here.
So you mentioned unfinished business with Peter David, and once again, we're talking with program director of Hanging with Web TV, known as Willow Skylor. Make sure you're sharing this video with all 200 of your closest friends, and if you have any questions for her, let us know in the comments, let us know in the live chat. We'll be monitoring as we go throughout the course of the program, because you're going to like the way you look after liking this video, I guarantee it. So you mentioned unfinished business with Peter David, but who do you hope to meet at conventions in the future that you haven't yet?
Oh, Nathan Fillion, for sure.
We aim to misbehave. Yeah.
Not only just because, not just because I loved him in Firefly, but I pretty much, I have to admit, I do stalk him periodically.
Wow.
So
it's very forward of you to admit right here on a big
I love
program
all
such
his
as this
stuff. I'm a huge fan of him. And it was funny because when he showed up on a TV show that my mom loved, I met it. I was just watching it just because of him.
Gosh. Hey, good on you. All right, so you got Fillion. Any other names you want to toss into the mix?
George Takei. I definitely want to meet him.
Oh my. Okay.
And oh man, there's so many Star Trek actors that I have met through C4. And I find it funny how people are whenever Star Trek actor shows up and people are like, well, can't we get someone else? And it's like, no, let's keep getting these Star Trek the Star Trek actors. I want to meet them all.
Yeah. It's not like that fandom's been around for over 5 decades or something like that, right?
It's fun though. They're all really cool people.
All right. Good names. No worries there. What was the first Funko Pop you ever bought?
Accidentally.
Accidentally? I wonder how that occurred.
Okay. So being nice to my first furry convention that I went to in support of a couple of my friends, there was no bids on this pack of Funko Pops, and I'm just like, okay, let's try to get the ball rolling. So I put my bid out. Nobody else bid on it, so I spent $40 on the group of Funko Pops, which I ended up selling 2 of the Wanda's Scarlet Witch to Brian.
Yeah, Brian. Who's that guy? Brian Wensloff of Reels and Heels, which you can find on HWWS Web TV.
I ended up making $200 off him.
Yeah, depending on which Funko Pop and which version, if it's exclusive or not, those are worth a lot of money. So you made some good coin. Granted, you probably took that $200 and you probably spent it on a couple of Elvira pops, 2 days later, but that's okay.
I only have the 2 Funko Pops that I willingly bought.
willingly. That means. And yes,
those are the Elvira pops.
Elvira, of course. Can't have a show with Willow Skylor without mentioning the word Elvira.
Ryan keeps sending me links to all the the Funko sales. I'm just like, nope.
Do it. We're trying to get her to buy more. Do it. Treat yourself. She doesn't want to do it. It's fine. You'll be seduced by the dark side of the Force one day. It'll happen, as if it hasn't happened already. I don't know. Brian Wenzoff, you have any thoughts on that? I'd like to hear your thoughts. Okay, so that was one of the first pops you bought. How long have you been collecting Funko Pops? Couple years? Couple decades?
Trying to avoid collecting Funko Pops.
Avoid being the key word here, folks.
No, because they'll bring out the Resident Evil stuff, and I'm a huge fan of the Resident Evil series.
Oh,
and of course, it's I managed to track down a figurine of one of the bad guys at a secondhand store for what was it, $2 or something like that. I was like, oh, okay, this is cool.
wow.
So yes, secondhand stores are awesome for toy collectors.
Are they not? So what were your thoughts on the Mila Jovovich-led franchise of Resident Evil live action films? Did you like all 6 of them like I did, or did you just think, they're terrible?
I enjoyed it for what it was. Me being a huge video game fan, I wish they would have stuck a little bit more closer to hey Donna and Terry.
There's a lot of people here, aren't they?
But yeah, no, I kind of wish that they would have stuck a little bit closer to the video game series, but it was fun for what it was.
Yeah, turn your brain off, watch Mila Jovovich kick a lot of tail, take a lot of names, chop some zombies' heads off, take some shotguns to their face. Just laying the smackdown. Well, by the way, real quick, Terry says, hello, you crazy kids. Hope you're having a great day. What's up, Terry, over in Ireland? We love you, buddy. Donna Carla Carlene says, hello, Willow and Ryan. Hello, Donna. You're a superstar. Don't forget that, Donna. So did you hear that they rebooted Resident Evil with a new film called Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City with, by the way, young, really good up-and-coming actors and actresses such as Kaya Scodelario as the lead actress in that. You also got Robbie Amell from CW, a.k.a. Stephen Amell's cousin. So you got a good cast in it. Have you seen the new film?
I haven't yet, but I definitely want to watch it soon. I might actually. I have a Roku now, so that I can watch all these all this stuff now.
That's awesome. Well, we look forward to hearing your 2 cents on that. Hey, Carl.
Hey, Carl.
Good to see you. See what I did there for you, Carl? There's your 90s reference for the day. Awesome sauce. Awesome sauce. Goodness gracious. Funko Pops galore. Any other pop culture collectibles that you own? Besides Funko Pops, what is it that you enjoy collecting over there?
My husband and I are huge into Ghostbusters. So we have lots of Ghostbuster stuff. We
slimed me.
We've actually, it's funny because here's the thing that kind of hurt me growing up as a kid, being told that I'm a woman or a girl and I can't have these cool toys that a lot of the boys in my neighborhood were getting for Christmas and birthdays. I missed out on collecting a lot of the G.I. Joes, the Ninja Turtle stuff, and the Ghostbusters figurines. Now, as an adult, trying to get back my childhood is really expensive, by the way. I try to stay away from eBay as much as possible.
Yeah. You have a funny way of seducing them into buying more stuff. So you're saying nowadays you're putting those things in your collection because unfortunately you missed out on that as a child.
I missed out on a lot of collecting of toys and figurines. Although I was a huge Barbie collector as a kid as well. So, but now it's whenever there's a superhero Barbie that gets released, I'm first in line to buy it.
Is there a Wonder Woman Barbie in your household?
Yes, actually there is a Wonder Woman Barbie, but I'm not willing to spend $200 on it right now.
It's only $200. It's not like your life savings or anything. People spend more than that, if not triple that, at conventions every week.
Oh, Mattel released a huge superhero line. I got most of them. And I missed Wonder Woman, unfortunately. But I got 2 Batgirl dolls. I got a Supergirl, 2 Harley Quinns, and yeah. I got a Catwoman doll as well.
Catwoman?
The Halle Berry version of it, but it's still Catwoman.
I don't know about that. I don't think that movie ever happened. I don't even think it's considered canon by 99.99999% of pop culture fans. If you disagree with me, let us know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the indie film known as Catwoman that I haven't seen yet, but I saw footage of it online one day, and I'm thinking, I don't know if I want to watch more of that. I don't know.
They did her a huge disservice, unfortunately, but
got her a Razzie Award.
They did a really good job on the suit, and I think Halle Berry could. I think if Halle Berry got teamed up with a different writer and
different
I think it would be a better. Yeah, I think it would be a better movie.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll never know, won't we? She won a Razzie for that film. She actually went there physically at the ceremony and accepted the award herself.
She accepted the award with tears in her eyes.
Probably so. Probably so. Gee willikers. The things we learn. Carl is asking us, who are you going to call? Well, we know who we're going to call. It's a good film. It's funny, Carl. I went back and I rewatched the original 2 Ghostbusters films, and I haven't seen the new one yet, but it's sitting on my desk over here. I got to watch the Ghostbusters Afterlife film. But I forgot how funny and hilarious the original film was. Gosh, man.
And here, okay, I learned this little tidbit yesterday. Huey Lewis in the news, sued the guy who did the song.
Ray Parker Jr.
Yeah, because their songs are very much the same. I Need a New Drug is the song that from Huey Lewis, and if you put them side by side, they're the same song. They're the same tune. I did not know this, but the producers of Ghostbusters set Ray Parker Jr. up to write that song, and I think that is a terrible thing to do, but it's just funny how the 2 are very intertwined now.
Yeah.
And it took me until yesterday to know this. I don't know how, all the years that I've listened to Huey Lewis and loved their music, and to finally it clicked. It's like, how is that? How did I not know that was the same tune?
My goodness gracious, the things we learn on a daily basis. I got to tell you, I was not aware of that. So thanks for telling me that. Okay, who brought the dog? Sorry, that's a line from the original film. I digress. But goodness gracious, what is this, Carl, you're chiming in with? Carl says Halle Berry gets dissed for that Catwoman film, but it was not her fault.
I love it.
Probably not.
It was a good movie.
It was kind of her fault, but at the same time, it was mostly the writer and director's fault, not so much hers. Yeah, that's just the thing that happens behind the scenes of Hollywood, right? Am I right? I think I am.
I think Halle Berry needs to have a comeback with that movie, though.
Maybe. I mean, listen, if she can come back and kick tail and take names at her age in the film John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum, she could probably do it with Catwoman. Because you've seen her in John Wick 3, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
She kicked a lot of you-know-what in that film.
The talent in that woman is fascinating.
Goes from playing Catwoman to playing Storm to playing John Wick's former best friend. She could pretty much do almost anything.
And she trained really, really hard for that film, too.
She busted her chops for John Wick 3. She really did. Kudos to her. Maybe she'll make an appearance in John Wick Chapter 4.
That would be cool.
I don't know. Anything's possible. The surprises could happen when John Wick Chapter 4 finally comes out.
She gets a lot of flack, though, when it comes to like her role in a James Bond film, and I don't think that woman deserves the amount of flack that she does for some of the movies that she made.
Listen, I know we're going off a bit of the rails here, but I got to tell you, I rewatched all the original the Pierce Brosnan James Bond films. Die Another Day is not good. It's not good. But Halle Berry was fine for the role she was in. In fact, I'm not sure if you were aware of this, Willow, and maybe you who are watching or listening to this maybe not have been aware of this. They were originally going to do a spin-off series from James Bond, focusing on her character from Die Another Day, Jinx, played by Halle Berry. They were going to give her a spin-off film. But unfortunately, those plans fell through. They didn't come to pass, and it, just went the way of the dodo. So there you go. She was one of the highlights of Die Another Day. For those of you who may agree or disagree, that's up to you. But there you go. Another fun fact for you, Willow. You learned about Ghostbusters and Back to the Future being... well, not Back to the Future, but Huey Lewis and the News of Back to the Future being intertwined, huh? But even so,
okay, the 80s had some really good music for their films, so I cannot complain.
I don't think anyone can complain about how great the 80s were in terms of filmmaking and in terms of soundtracks. Am I right, folks? I hope I am. But listen, once again, we're talking with Willow Skylor, Program Director of HWWS Web TV. If you have any questions for her, let us know in the comments, let us know in the live chat. Make sure you're sharing this video with all 300 of your closest friends. They're going to like the way they look after watching this video, I guarantee it. So, Willow, sources close to me tell me that you were but you are rather, present tense. You are something known as a cosplayer. So I'm just curious, what was the first cosplay you ever pulled off?
Oh, the first cosplay. Okay, so I dressed in costume pretty much all my life and didn't really know that there was a thing called cosplay. 2009 was my first convention that I went to, and I dressed up as the Black Cat. More so kind of like a more comfortable version of her, but I have a figurine where it looks like she's just wearing a black tank top and a pair of tights. So I went out, got some fun fur, got like go-go boot covers and glued them together. Pair of white gloves with fun fur around the edges, and that was my suit and a white wig. And a lot of people enjoyed my costume, and I got flack from one woman saying that a lot of my costumes look like they're pieced together. Well, here's the thing, folks. I do just piece together a lot of my costumes because, I like to be comfortable. Mm-hmm. A lot of times I go for more of a costuming on a budget. Mm-hmm. I go browse around secondhand stores, and I modify stuff to make a costume out of. And I like it. I'm not ashamed.
No shame.
I know there's a lot of women who there's a lot of great costumes that I see that I would love to wear. But I just don't have the talent to spend sewing, and I have a sewing machine. I don't really use it much. But yeah, no, I leave the costume contest to those who know how to do costuming.
So you mentioned Black Cat. Any other cosplays that you've any other characters that you have dressed up as?
I've done the Phantasm from Mask of the Phantasm. I've done Harley Quinn and Elvira. But yeah, like I buy a lot of my costumes, and I don't really sew much. I don't like I said, I modify most of my costumes. I buy and modify them. But yeah, cosplay is cosplay. It doesn't matter if you spend hours sewing it. It's still cosplay. You put on a costume and you're cosplaying.
No, good points. Yes, and Carl chimes in here. Carl says, "Willow, you indeed rock the Elvira look."
Thank you.
That's what Carl says. So I guess, is it fair to say that you're Elvira's doppelganger?
Let's just say I'm like the mini version of Elvira.
You're the mini version, so you're basically mini me. So that's what you are. Oh yeah,
I'm sure that I'm like the squished version. I'm like the Wish version.
The what? Gee Willikers, and man, Donna Carla Carlene chimes in. She says, "Nothing to be ashamed of. You have great outfits, Willow, and you look good in them."
Thank you. I love to do. I love steampunk. That is
steampunk.
I love the Victorian style. I love the Western style. Being able to amalgamate both into one costume and call it steampunk. I love it.
So do you have any characters you hope to dress up as in the future?
I you know what? I want to do Rogue Justice again. Like I've cosplayed her a couple times, but I definitely want to do a better version of her. I love her yellow and green suit. You know what? I kind of want to do her when she was with the Brotherhood suit. I kind of like that outfit a little bit.
Okay, all right, the Brotherhood of Mutants. Sorry, I had to get my Magneto on there for a second. But yeah, you mentioned Rogue. Wow. Okay, man. Insert X-Men theme song here. Come on, Willow. You know the words. No, rather you know the sounds. That's what I'm saying. Sorry, some theme songs don't actually have lyrics. It's just instrumental, and X-Men's one of the most iconic. I think we can all agree on that one.
Yes, it is.
So we'll just let that go. But yeah, cosplaying's fun. Comic-Cons are fun. But now you move a bit forward here. When did you specifically decide to become a podcaster?
Okay, so back in, I've always wanted to be kind of like on the radio, and that was like my dream job was to be a broadcaster. More so radio, because I didn't feel like I always viewed TV as more you had to be really, really up your game on fashion and all that when it came to TV, and I'm nothing of a fashion icon at all. Radio seemed like it was up my alley because of the fact that, hey, you could go to work in your pajamas and people not know what you look like. So I took broadcasting back in 2006, graduated from that. Worked in a radio station for a couple of months. Did as much as I could for online stuff, and so pretty much I've been podcasting, I guess, blogging since 2006. I worked with people on Blog TV way back when. It started off as a Canadian website and then went into doing US. And then YouTube became a huge thing, and tried to do some stupid videos for YouTube. So yeah, it's just, I've always been kind of doing podcasts since 2006. It became really big come the pandemic. When I met Brian and Nicole, and they offered me the role of their co-host for their show, and then of course I met you and the rest of the gang at Hanging with Web.
I know, right? It's a wonderful thing. So what would you say are some of the rewards about being a podcaster? What do you think?
You know what? It's a therapy. It's like a therapy session. Mm-hmm. You get to rant and rave about what's been bugging you the whole week. You can talk with your friends and talk about your favorite movies, talk about your favorite TV shows. And it's just a way of getting your thoughts and feelings out, and being able to talk with other people who are like-minded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that I would agree with that 100%. Good answer. On the flip side of the coin, though, what would you say are some of the biggest challenges about being a podcaster?
There are so many other shows that have the same MO. I guess you like it. you trying to come up with a name. It's like trying to come up with a name for a superhero. Like all the good names are taken. And then you pretty much have to like search the World Wide Web constantly. Okay, that name's taken. That name's taken. How about we do like a this or? And then you're looking at other podcasts to see similar podcasts to see if they're still doing their thing, because you don't want to be a clone of another podcast, you know. But at the same time, you know, because there's so many podcasts that are out there doing the same thing, because they may be doing the same thing doesn't mean that, you know, they have the same opinions as you do.
Yeah. Yeah, I could totally see that. And you're right. Yeah, it's hard to stand out from the rest because there's millions and millions and millions out there. I mean, look, Carl's chiming in here. He says, fighting for audience since everyone is getting outdoors again. Is that a fair thing to say about one of the biggest challenges about being a podcaster? I would think so, Carl. Would you agree, Willow?
Yeah, and I mean, like, I know that there's a couple people who aren't doing their shows anymore because of the world going, you know, reopening and all that. Mm-hmm. And then you have to think about it. It's like, do I want to focus on work again? Do I want to continue doing my stuff? And quite honestly, after my city opened up and we were allowed to go back to work full time and all that, I'm just like, no, I want to continue doing what I'm doing because I'm having fun. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to focus on, you know, the 9-to-5 job anymore. I want to. I want to focus on what makes me happy.
What makes you happy? Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat. Carl chimes in. He says, another possible issue that we're having with an internet show, you know, certifiably insane co-hosts. Maybe. I don't know. Do I look insane to you, Carl? Do I look insane to you, Willow? I don't know. I mean, are we all insane?
Hey, I'm in therapy for that reason.
Same here, Carl. I'm in therapy as well. There's no shame in that, by the way. Asking for therapy or a counselor is a sign of strength. It's not a sign of weakness, just to point that out there. Not to get on a soapbox here about mental health and how important it is for you who may be watching or listening to this, but if you ask for help, it's not a bad thing.
And it's funny because the last therapy session I had, my therapist actually said that she watches my shows, and I'm just like, oh, excellent.
You're my biggest fan, and yet I see you every week and pay X amount of money an hour. So yeah, there you go. No shame in that. And Carl says, good for you, Willow, on all your success. See, Carl's a supportive young man, isn't he? Even though he's like 700 years old. But still, we digress, Carl. Listen, Carl, age is just a number, brother. Don't worry about it. So it's gee whiz, you funny people. So you mentioned some of the positives, some of the negatives, some of the challenges, some of the good things that happen when you're doing it. But I want to know something here. We have a picture here. This right here, HWWS Web TV. Now, you are the program director for them, if I'm not mistaken. Now, how on earth did you manage to get the gig of program director at HWWS Web TV? And why do you subject yourself to the craziness and out of controlness that happens with this group of people? Because what do we have here? 20, 30 different shows with 20 to 30 different people. That's 30 different personalities, 30 sets of problems. Willow Skylor, the question on the table, how did you get involved with HWWS Web TV and how do you put up with it?
Well, I just kept sharing the shows. I try to do like a podcast program directory of like all the shows that we had, what days they're on, and trying to get people to watch them on those days. And then I was doing like the daily podcast schedule, which will come back, I promise, as soon as I get a new cell phone and I'm able to actually do what I want to do with it. But it was just, I was just constantly in the shows, interacting with people, and talking to everyone as much as I could between my work. And Garrett and Sage gave me the link to their Instagram page. so that I can promote all our shows. And they offered me the job of program director, and I'm just like, hey, okay, I can do this.
Goodness gracious. I don't know how you put it. I don't know how you put up with Garrett and Sage. They're just so
They're
terrible.
fine.
No, I'm kidding.
I love them.
I'm kidding. We're kidding around here, folks. When I'm saying these things, I know it's kind of hard to tell, especially if you're listening to this. But no, I'm just joking. Garrett and Sage,
they're the hardest working people that I know, and I mean, we're all hardworking people, and I think what it is I'm a workaholic, and I need to constantly keep myself busy. Otherwise I go insane. And I think that's why me and Garrett and Sage get along very well, is because we're all trying to keep ourselves busy to keep our brains from going wherever. Because it is easy, and this is I'm gonna say this honestly, it is easy to slip into a depressive state. And I've been there, I've done that. I've suffered from insomnia, and if I don't keep myself busy, I will go insane. And I don't like myself when I'm depressed, and so I do what keeps me happy. And if that means doing 3 shows a week and and on top of working, I'll do it. But I like to. I'm keeping myself creative.
Yeah. No, I could totally see that. Totally see that. Yeah. And Garrett and Sage, all kidding aside, they're great people. They're very hardworking, very supportive, uber supportive. Like if you got questions, they got answers. You need something to pick you up when you're falling down, they're going to pick you up. So I will give Garrett and Sage that much credit, even though I don't want to give it to him. No, I'm kidding. Garrett, Sage, we love you to pieces. Get out of here, bud. So yeah, you got the gig of program director at HWWS TV, which is, as our Uncle Ben taught us 20 plus years ago, with great power comes great responsibility. So with that, moving forward just a little bit here, you got a few things, you got a few irons in the fire here, but one thing that started up somewhat recently, this craziness right here. So what exactly is the Sideshow, and how did that come about?
Well, Heather and I were pretty much chatting ever since, your guys' Thanksgiving. And I just became, much like you and I chatting, I became kind of her therapy session where whenever she needed to vent about something, I was there to talk her down and calm her down and make her feel better. And we just became good friends. And then she was saying something about wanting to do a show. I'm like, okay, what do you want to do? What do you want to do about the show? Like, what kind of show do you want to do? And she goes, just pretty much everything that you've been doing, and talking about, hello, Laura. But yeah, she wanted to do a show similar to what we were all doing, talking about pop culture, whatever was in the news, current events, and we love costumes, we love going to events, and everything she's doing down in Florida is pretty much everything that I want to do up here in Winnipeg by promoting all the businesses and stuff. And so I'm just like, let's do a show. Let's see if we can combine our minds and do something fun. And we became one of the biggest hits for the channel. So it's
well, that's just fan-flippin-tastic.
Heather's a really good friend, and she's someone who I can bounce ideas off of, and it's fun.
Yeah, and not only that, she's an extremely hard worker. Anything she does, she puts 110% into. There's no question about it. Heather, bless your heart, you've done so much already, and we look forward to seeing what you do in the future. And yes, what were we saying a moment ago? Yes, Laura says happy to be here. Well, we're happy to have you here with us here, Laura. Good to see you. If you have any questions for Willow Skylor, the program director of HWWS TV, et cetera, let us know in the comments. Let us know in the live chat. We're going to be monitoring as we go throughout the course of the show. Don't forget to share this program with all 400 of your closest friends, because they're going to like the way they look after watching this video. I guarantee it. That was a lot of words. So, any special memories from any of the shows that you've done up to this point, or meeting people at other events while promoting your podcast, Willow?
Meeting William Sadler will always be the top of whatever I do. And then, of course, being a huge nerd and meeting all the Buzz Dixon, all the people that you've interviewed. I fangirl so hard when it comes to meeting everybody that we talk to. And, even when I had Carl on my show, I'm a fan of everybody. And it's funny because when I was going to conventions and meeting the celebrities there, it's like, oh, I don't really fangirl much up until I met Tia Carrera. And then it's
Don't
like,
you mean Cassandra? You mean Cassandra, right? That's Cassandra that you've met. That's the relic hunter that you've met. Tia Carrera. I mean, who else am I thinking of here? Juno Skinner from True Lies. That's the person that you met, Willow. And am I jealous of you for meeting Tia Carrera, aka Cassandra? Yes, I'm very jealous. But how was she? How was that interaction?
It was amazing, and even though I was really nervous, she had a way of calming that nervousness down. She looked at my costume the first time I met her. I dressed up as her Sydney Fox from Relic Hunter, and she's like, and I actually had the rope necklace and all that. And she asked me, she goes, do you know the story behind the rope necklace? I'm like, no. She goes, I just found a piece of string and thought that'll look cool. It's like, oh, okay. So yeah, that was that. And then the second time, I got my picture taken both times with her, and she's just a gem. I love her dearly. She takes the time to get to know each and every one of the people in line, and she doesn't care how long it takes. she wants to get to know everybody. So I loved her. I loved meeting her. That pretty much answers Laura's question here. Was there someone?
Oh, she says, was there someone who was surprisingly kind? So Tia Carrera takes that.
Oh, you know how you hear that not to meet your heroes. Yes. And I've had moments like that where I met Adam West, and it was just felt kind of like he just didn't really care to be there. But I mean, I can understand, at the time he had pretty much just got off the plane and rushed into the Comic-Con, and but yeah, no, it was meeting Tia Carrera was just one of those moments where you had a lot of fun chatting with her. And then there's other celebrities that I had a lot of fun with. The guy who played in Smallville as Jimmy.
Oh, Aaron Ashmore.
He walked around the convention the whole time. He was there.
Yeah, I met him once. Very nice guy. Very chill. Answers all questions. He's just a cool guy. Guy. What are you in 8th grade? No, I'm not. I'm just calling it like it is. So let's see here. Laura's firing on all cylinders. Let's see here. Most positive person you've ever met. Someone who was surprisingly kind. You kind of answered that. Laura says, what was the most challenging job you've had and why?
Probably when I worked at the bakery. I worked one day at a bakery, and I wasn't really fast enough. And yes, it was very I'm sure Carl is thinking of the Lucille Ball version where she's in the chocolate shop. That pretty much summed up my experience, was where she's trying to package everything.
You missed a couple.
Yeah, no.
That was the most challenging job. And you worked at the bakery for one day, and then
one day,
just over?
and we both agreed, No, I'm not fast enough for this.
It just came and went. By the way, Laura, we were talking about Tia Career earlier. She is from Wayne's World. Yes. Adam West, he was one of the Batmans. Yes.
Yeah.
So there you go. No worries there. Man, she's trying to chime in with so many questions. No. Those are good ones, though. To keep them coming, anyone who's watching or listening to this, keep them coming. We love the questions. We appreciate those. But what would you say are... Yeah, Carl says, when it comes to working at a bakery, eat faster there, Willow.
You know what? It was tempting.
I'm sure, because bakeries have a lot of sweets and sugars and all that jazz. But listen, what would you say? What are your plans for your podcasts moving forward? Because you got... You're program directing HWWS Web TV. You're co-hosting the Side Show with Heather. You got Willow's Pillow Talk, which comes and goes in waves. So what are the plans for any of these podcasts moving forward? What's going to happen? I'm
hoping to stop being so chicken and ask more celebrities to be on my show. We got Cryptid Crunch coming up on Sunday as well, tomorrow. And...
plug.
And so we're gonna, me, Heather, and Keisha are gonna be talking about our haunted objects. And you know what, I'm looking forward to. I want to meet more people, more people who are interested in what we do, and help promote as much of other people as much as possible. Another thing is I'm looking for more sponsorship. Like we need to get ourselves out there. So anybody who wants to be part of our sponsorship team, that I would please contact me. Let me know.
Contact any one of us sitting here in this studio right now. Look, we got to keep the lights on here, folks. Got to do it somehow, right? No, that's good. It's all good. Yeah, you're also doing another show, Cryptid Crunch. So that's another thing. How did Cryptid Crunch come about? How did that happen?
Johnny wanted to do a show with me, and he kind of teamed me up with Keisha, and our original team of hosts was Keisha and JD, which was the Jersey Devil, and he decided to go on his own and create his own stuff. And so fly away, JD. I love you. I miss you, but I hope you're having fun. And then Heather came and joined the team. And it seems like the show's better with us three, as a 3-team show.
Yeah, 3 women, Charlie's Angels. Yeah. Kicking tail and taking names.
We interviewed some interesting people so far on Cryptid Crunch, and I'm looking forward to meeting more people who think that. And the show isn't a show that takes itself serious either. We're very much tongue in cheek, and I believe in aliens. I believe in ghosts, but as far as Bigfoot and other monsters go, they're all myths, and they're fun to talk about and learn what they're all about.
So it's fair to say that the truth is out there.
And I love talking about what certain things can actually, if you see strange lights or strange things flying about, we talk about what they could be instead of alien encounters or like ghostly haunting things.
Gee willikers. Once again, we're talking with Program Director of HWWS Web TV, Willow Skylor, here on And I Quote. If you have any questions for her, let us know in the comments. Let us know in the live chat. We would love to hear from you. Also, make sure you're sharing this video with all 700 of your closest friends. If you don't like the way they have to like, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to this whole shebang, this whole channel, I guarantee it. Thank you so much for being here. We do appreciate it. Everyone who's chimed in here, Willow, incredible stuff. So yeah, you mentioned believing in certain things and all that jazz. We were talking about you working at a bakery for 2.5 seconds. And Laura says the TED Talks with a guy who did the 1 year of asking for stuff. He went into a bakery one day asking for donuts in the shape of Olympic rings. And the server was so helpful for him that it went viral. I was not aware of that.
Interesting.
I was not aware of that. See, this is the beauty of any of these programs. You never know what you're going to get.
I kind of have this fear of asking for stuff too, because like it's a pride thing. Like I don't like asking my own family if I need like money or something, and it's just like to ask people over the internet, people that I don't even know, to help sponsor me. Just I see other podcasters being successful in that way, but it still, my pride gets the best of me, and I have to figure out, okay, well, people are willing to donate money to these people, but asking for it just still, I don't know. I'm still a little unsure about all of that.
Got it. The best thing you can do is when you're ready, put yourself out there, and the worst they can do is say no. But when they say yes, Willow, yes. That is a powerful 3-letter word, is the word yes. Always aim for the word yes. And by the way, Willow, I will give you this piece of advice. Don't take no for an answer. Just keep going. Keep going. Because if you believe in yourself like I do, like if you believe in yourself like our listeners or our viewers do, you're going to be incredibly successful. So just put yourself out there and say, yes, Willow, yes. You got to look in the mirror one day and just say to yourself, yes, I can. Yes, I can. Because we believe in you. You can do it. By the way, Carl chimes in about the upcoming episode of Cryptid Crunch. Carl says, we wound Keisha up last night, so it should be a good show.
Oh, good.
Not sure what you're referring to there, Carl, which I think I do, but I don't want to say it here on air, but we'll let that one go.
I miss a lot of the green room stuff because I spend Friday nights with my husband. So.
Yeah, the green room is not for the faint of heart. I'm just going to put that out there. And Carl, I think I'm right when I say that. Donna says Cryptid Crunch is influential. I now own 2 Mark Muncy books. I'm laughing out loud.
The guest that Johnny has lined up for us is fantastic. And then I met Mark Muncy on the Traveling TARDIS show, and I'm just like, oh man, I gotta have this show. I gotta have this guy on my show. So we had him on Cryptid Crunch, and the conversation could have gone like 3 hours. So we ended up bringing him on the Side Show the week after. Mm-hmm. And because it just, we had to have a longer conversation with this guy. And, I could probably have that guy on more shows just to talk about all the stuff that he writes about and all the stuff that he's seen.
Yeah, well, then give him a call. Call him up, ask the question, and he'll say, yes, Willow, yes. It's a great thing. By the way, Carl says, I like Willow's approach of a skeptic and the whole psychological side of it when being on podcasts. There you go, Willow. So you got fans out there. Laura agrees with the whole fear thing. She says, me too. I have this fear of rejection and not wanting to be a burden when I ask people for things or for them to be upcoming guests on my show. Yeah. It's okay. Listen, you're not the only person who, has a bit of a fear or struggles with that. It's okay. But once you work up that confidence and you have that eye of the tiger, just go for it. You know what Michael Scott said on The Office? You only miss 100% of the shots you don't take, Willow.
That's true.
Remember that. And by the way, Laura, I don't think Donna's on Clubhouse, but if you want to get Donna and Carl on Clubhouse, boy, would that be a hoot for the green room. Let me tell you, that would be a green room. All right. Gee willikers.
And one of these days I will have a better cell phone so that I can put myself on Clubhouse.
Do you know what Clubhouse is?
It's an app that allows podcasters to interact with each other.
Not just podcasters, business leaders, entrepreneurs, business owners, producers, actors, writers, independent publishers. All of them can gather together through through talking, through their voice on their phone. And you go into different rooms that have different topics and subject matters, and you make new connections that way. That's what Clubhouse is. It's free for you who may be listening or watching this. It's free to put on your phone, your mobile device. Put it on there. You set up a profile for yourself. You put together a profile picture. You put together links in your profile. You also put together links for your social media. So you can put a link to your Instagram. You can put a link to your Twitter account, or just put it in the information part of your bio what your website is, so people can find you and all the upcoming projects you have coming up. That is what Clubhouse is. If you want more information, just download the app, fiddle around with it. You'll figure it out. That was a lot. That was a lot. But Willow and your friendly neighborhood, podcasters, they may be coming soon to a Clubhouse near you. So stay tuned.
I like Carl.
What did you
It's
say,
where
Carl?
people talk about work, Donna. You would not be
You
interested.
would not be interested. Donna, you would not be. That's what Carl was saying. That's what the comment that Carl Whitman just made here on the show. Oh my goodness. You know what, Carl? If you and Donna end up on Clubhouse, boy, would that be a sight to see. I gotta. And Donna chimes in here. She squeaks, work? Who cares about work? I don't know what work is. I don't know what work is either. I never really looked. But I digress. Goodness gracious. Clubhouse. Well, Willow, if you join Clubhouse, we're more than happy to have you. I'm sure it'll be a blast. But
I'll definitely look into it.
Yeah. Hey, John Pica's on there.
You know what? It's funny because I would rather be on a social app that it lets me interact with people one-on-one than being on like an app like TikTok.
Yeah, I can see that. But TikTok is very big right now. It's a very big marketing tool for podcasters such as yourself.
You know me, I cannot put out like 3-second videos.
I mean,
my
you can put up an
like
image
10 minutes.
with accompanying music, and then you put the info in the post, and that's what I do for my show. I don't even put my face on camera on TikTok. I just post the flyers and the interactive, or not but the flyers and the banners to let people know about upcoming shows that I have, because it's just easier that way. I mean, for me anyway. I may want to stretch my wings a little bit and do a little bit more, but that'll happen. Hopefully that'll happen in due time. But I do want to let you in on something here, that this episode of And I Quote, and every episode of And I Quote, is indeed powered by Poddex. Now, Poddex are the hottest new tool for podcasters looking to have more meaningful conversations or gamify their podcast. You simply shuffle up the cards, you ask a question, and you let the content roll. Get yours today at poddex.com. Make sure you use the promo code Ryan10, all one word, RYAN 10, Ryan10, to get 10% off your order. You're not going to miss out on that opportunity. I guarantee it. So, Willow, how much would someone have to pay for your little toe?
Oh my God. Nothing, because I would never cut it off. Sorry, guys. That little baby toe is sticking with me.
Because, Elaine, that's the one that goes wee, wee, wee all the way home. I'm just saying. I heard that from Seinfeld. It's my favorite sitcom. I'm just gonna be perfectly honest, but it's true. So,
despite the fact that I bang it on a lot of stuff, no, that little toe is staying with me.
It's staying with you. Okay, so we'll let that one go. If you were stranded on a desert island and you could choose one person to keep you company, who would it be? And what about one animal?
Well, that's totally unfair. I have 7 cats. Well, okay, one person. Well, okay, my husband would probably get mad at the fact that I wouldn't choose him, but one person. Yeah, okay, I'll stick with my husband, because it's unfair to the rest of my friends who want to be on that island with me. And one animal, I'd have to say my cat Athena.
There you go. She played favorites. She played favorites there, Kat. You own 7 cats, which is ridiculous.
Happy birthday to Simba. Yeah. He
it's Simba's birthday
yesterday.
He turned 13?
18.
18, excuse me. 18. So that means he's technically an adult. Yeah. He can go out and smoke. He can go out and vote now. Wow.
He's legal to drink in Canada.
Yeah. All right. I was not aware of this. Thank you for bringing that up, Carl. And by the way, Simba is one of 7 cats that Willow owns in Canada. So there you go. That's good stuff. So would you say, is a hot dog a sandwich, and why?
Oh, I'm going to say hot dogs are more taco than sandwich.
Okay. All right.
Because you eat it like a taco, not so much a sandwich.
We did like a taco. It's Taco Tuesday. So do you eat tacos on Taco Tuesday?
Oh, yes.
You do? That's your tradition after you get off work every Tuesday?
Not so much. Sometimes I'll have tacos during the week, but you know what? Usually Tuesdays. And this is a tradition of mine and Joe's going back from when we were dating. We like to have spaghetti on Tuesdays because it's Pasta Tuesday at pizza place.
Go to our local pizza place and get the pasta. Good. Hey, listen, whatever makes you lovey-dovey, whatever makes you happy as a married couple. Well, there you go. So if you could look through one person's email account without them knowing, whose email would you want to look through?
Well, right now, Chris Rock.
Because of the slap heard around the world in Hollywood.
See how many people have emailed him over the support of him getting slapped, and how many offers he's getting to train him to beat the crap out of Will Smith.
Okay. All right. That's okay. Wow. Good. That's interesting pick. But with today's current headlines, we can understand that from a certain point of view. If gosh, hope you're doing well there, Chris Rock. If everything in your entire house had to be one color, what color would you possibly choose? Everything in your house had to be one color. What color would you choose, Willow?
Sky blue.
Sky blue. Why sky blue?
That's my favorite color.
Is it?
Sky blue and plum purple.
Sky blue. Sky blue. Okay. Well, few superheroes have that color in their outfits, such as Superloop, and Wonder Woman's got some blue in there, you know. So, considering the fact you are a Wonder Woman fan, see what I did there for you, Willow? We spare no expense here on this show, let me tell you. Well, that's cool. Sky blue. You know, listen, full disclosure, my favorite color is blue. So the fact that you mentioned sky blue just, I don't know, warms my itty bitty little heart. So my hat's off to you. Good stuff. We want to take this opportunity to say thank you to Willow Skylor, cosplayer, podcaster extraordinaire, for being on this week's episode of, and I quote, Willow, where can the person watching or listening to this find you online and everything that you have coming up? What do you got?
Well, I am, you can find all my links on Linktree. So you can find me on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. I know somewhere out there is my MySpace page. So yeah, you Google my name, you can find me pretty much everywhere.
All right. We want to say once again, thank you, Willow, for being here. We really do appreciate it. My name is Ryan. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at RyanRPM5. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe to this channel. Check us out on Facebook, all forms of social media, simply at It's Nerd Culture. New things are being posted each and every week. We've got a lot of special events planned for you in the coming weeks and months, so you want to stay tuned for that. Other special things are coming your way very, very soon. But in the meantime, to you who may be watching or listening, thank you for all your support. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay safe, let your nerd flag fly, and life is better when reading. Take a look.
Famous Faces and Funnies in Melbourne, Florida is leading the way in pop culture fun. From comic books and graphic novels to Funko Pops and collector's items, Famous Faces and Funnies has it all. Rick Shea and the professional team at Famous Faces and Funnies are friendly and knowledgeable. Whether you're looking for toys, props, collector treasures, or a new comic book, Famous Faces and Funnies is your one-stop shop. To find Famous Faces and Funnies on Facebook and Twitter, just type at FFF Comics.
In the summer of 1953, private investigator Will Lucky Marks was working as the in-house private eye for Arcane Pacific Pictures. Trapped inside the studio with the killer, Lucky must find the killer before time runs out. Lot 28. Own it today. Available iTunes and Amazon.com.
Author Cindy Kep is writing on the edge. Books include Remnant in the Stars, The Loudest Actions, Lines of Succession, Mindstorm, Condemned Courier, the Yerushalayim series, and Animal Eye. Find author Cindy Kepp at ckoepp.com today.